Oh, I can't wait to get my setup back together, y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, Welcome to my channel. Okay, so this is trial day. Today is trial day 3. We're going to talk about yesterday, which was day 2, and Cassie will be proceeding to testify for doing a part 2 of her testimony about her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. Um, Now it was very emotional. Cassie looked amazing. She was looking gorgeous, as you saw in the thumbnail. And we're going to get into it. Now, I was seeing a lot of people say that, that basically they were saying, why didn't Cassie leave? Why not? Okay, so when I read the affidavit, when he first got his indictment last year, I believe, early part of late last year, before his birthday, when he first got indicted, I had told y'all that he had defaced pew pews. He was threatening people. There were arson, people of the things of that nature when he blew up Kid Cudi car and of that nature. Now we're gonna get into. I'm gonna read the testimony. Hold on. I don't know if I can share it with my Safari. Let me see. Nope, but I'm gonna read it. So in her testimony, I'm gonna read it and what everything says verbatim. Now, if it triggers you, please let me know. There is a lot, and this is only part 1. We'll be covering part 2 of it tomorrow. I don't know if you guys heard everything, but she did testify. They asked her age. She said she was 38. They asked what her work was. She said musician and entertainer. She said she was with Sean for 10 years. Johnson, who was the prosecutor, said, did you get in an argument? She said, yes, it resulted in violence and dragging. She asked, what else did he do to you? She said, stomp me in the head if I was down. How frequently was he violent? And Ventura, Cassie said too frequently that she would have bruises. Let me show you a video. And she showed her the video of them at the Intercontinental Hotel in LA. She said it was at the F5. And she said they hired an escort and setting it up. When she was asked how she felt, she said confused, nervous. She wanted to make him happy. And she asked, did she agree when he first proposed one? And she said yes. Then there were more. It wasn't something I wanted to do, at least not that frequently. She said, I didn't know what no could turn into. The reason why Cassie said she didn't know what no can turn into, because I've been talking about this case when we first find out that, she sued him, in the details in that lawsuit, even the details that, people were starting to come out and say about how he did Kim Porter, who is the mother of his twins. Now, I feel it. At first, I was with the girls. I'm like, okay, they there. I send my prayers. But then when I thought about it, I don't feel like the girls should be there, because of the fact that, especially the twins, they have to, and Quincy, that they have to hear about what was going on with their mom. And their mom is no longer here. And then we don't know what effect it has. But then you got to think about it with the other boys, and with the 4 kids. We're gonna say the twins are the 2 boys, including Quincy is part of 2 boys. Good morning, Latae. So they have to figure out like what's really the deal. Like they have to hear about their mom. And that's just the sad part. Um, but the things that I've heard that he done to Kim Porter, like I can only imagine what Cassie went through. And then she probably was scared because they remember the escort said that he took pictures of his ID. Remember we talked about him trying to blow up Kid Cudi car. Then there were people saying Dawn talked about how she was locked in the car. Her dad had to get her out. I'm surprised Dawn hasn't been called to the stand. I think she will, because she witnessed some things as well, which she put in her court documents in her lawsuit before he got picked up. So She also said, hold on, where is it at? That he would blackmail her, and she say, what did you give the government? And then they asked, what did you give the government? She said laptops. The prosecutor handed her a GSB, and she asked her, did she recognize it? She said yes. A GSB is code for like Molly, something that'll make her, you know, feel weird, be active, feel okay. She said, yes, I reviewed this drive. I'm sorry, that's not GSB. I'm sorry. She's saying the hard drive, which has the photos and the videos. Now we're going to get back into with her testimony. The videos, they're saying that they're trying to see if they're going to show the videos to press into the jurors. They're going to have headphones. They're trying to figure out how. So at first they said no. They're still going into it because in what I've heard in the videos, that is very horrifying. Very horrifying. You can hear people screaming. It's just horrifying. I'm not sure if they're going to show it. And even there's some videos with Cassie as well on that hard drive. She said, did you review the photo? She said, yes. Was this photo me in 2004 with Carrie Morgan? Now, I want y'all to listen to this because remember, 2004, she signed a deal. When did you sign with Bad Boy Records? 2006. It was a 10-album deal that she never did. Did you release any after late 2006? She said no. They asked who was in the photo. Listen now, this the T. Because remember, Kim Porter's friend came out and said, baby, she emptied the clip. She said, no, baby, y'all got to wait to the court. Baby, she came out. Yes. On Twitter, she emptied the clip. Okay. She said Kim Porter, she was with Sean X from before me. She was Sean X, I'm sorry, from before me and the mother of his children. Where did you celebrate your birthday? In Las Vegas. Carrie Morgan was there too. We were out on his patio on my 21st birthday at the VMAs. They asked what happened next. Sean kissed me in the bathroom and I ran back to my hotel and I told Carrie. So remember, around that time, Kim, I believe she just had her daughters, the twins, or she was pregnant with the twins, and this happened. Kim went through a lot. When did you got back to the hotel? I'd visit him at the Trump Hotel in Columbus Circle. His apartment was being renovated. What were you doing with your music career? Trying to come up with a concept. Sean called all of the shots. Did you visit Sean in Miami? She said yes, with Carrie in Dallas Austin. Dallas Austin is Chili's baby father. What did you and Sean do together? She said they had intercourse. He gave me a blue dolphin ecstasy on a boat. Have you once before taken ecstasy unintentionally? She said yes. And they asked her how she took it, and she said it was in her Gatorade. She took it with Sean, and she felt like she was rolling. And they asked her at the time, what do you think? They were spending time together. She said, I thought we was monogamous. She said that they asked, was it public? She said no. She spent time with his family. She was his artist. She spent time with his family and his children. She asked who was leaked to him publicly at the time, and it was Kim Porter. Okay. Now this is the second time I think he cheated on Kim Porter that we know of, because remember it was J-Lo and she found out about that public relationship. Okay. Then she said, how did Sean treat you at this time? She said they had fun. They asked what his lifestyle was like. She said he had a lot of assistants. He got things done. He traveled a lot. They've been to a strip club in New York around 2007 or 2008. And she say his moods vary day to day. And she say when his mood swings, it was anger and he would zone out. They asked her how did it impact her. She said that she would know, it would be great. And then all of a sudden, she was getting hit in the face. There was physical abuse. He'll tell me to watch my mouth and change my face. They asked how would he keep tabs on you. She said they didn't live far apart. He would send security to find her or a trusted assistant. And she gave the names David, James, and Christina Coram. But their relationship at the time was not exclusive. Okay? Because remind you, he was still with Kim Porter. It wasn't exclusive yet. So then they asked her, did she see other men? She said yes. She said that he did see other. They asked her, did he see other women? I'm sorry. She said yes. He said, I'm Puff Daddy. I was insanely jealous because she was jealous because he did see other women. She moved to LA with him because he wanted to be close to his kids, which were the twins. Okay. The twins, Quincy. It's not Justin. What is that boy name? Justin is, we're going to talk about Misha with that. I'm still trying to figure out what the heck she got the Walker for. I ain't seeing no more after that Walker fiasco, but the one that had the music come out, the one that looked just like him. We know Quincy isn't his. Quincy is Al B. Sure, but I'll explain why Quincy and Al B. Sure relationship is strange. It's strange, and certain things after I read everything about his relationship with Diddy and the twins. They say, where did you live? She gave her address, and they asked how tall was the building. She said it was 17 floors. She gave the address where he lived, and he would use a golf cart to go back and forth. Now, remind you, when he was with Young Miami in Miami, and Young Miami go see him, we would catch Young Miami and Diddy on the golf course. Now, come to find out, I believe that Young Miami did not stay far from Diddy. Because now this sums up to when Young Miami said that she liked to get peed on. And she was like, I'm just playing. Nobody ever peed on me. Yes. Oh, yes. It's a lot coming with her too. Okay. It's a lot going to come out with that. They asked her who paid her rent for her. It was him. Now he paid her rent because, remind you, she only had a couple of songs out. I think she only had one album. She never had no more albums. So this was his way to control her by paying her rent, seeing what's going on, so he could tell her how to dress, tell her how to look. Sound very Kanye, right? Okay. Then it said, she asked her, why did you pay her? She said, I could afford it then, and then I wanted to have some control. I'm sorry. And I wanted to have some control. It was accepted. And then they asked by who, and she said, Sean. How many songs did you write with Sean? She said hundreds. Most were never released. Some got leaked on the internet, some on mixtapes. She's right. Around that time, there were leaked songs that was never released. If y'all remember back in the day, they had LimeWire and whatever people put on a hard drive. That's why LimeWire doesn't exist anymore. They would take it and they would put it and have it downloaded onto a mixtape. Okay? And it's just what it was on your computer. You can put it on a big CD, you know what I'm saying, for $5. How many albums on your deal were not released? 9. She only released one album. Did she get paid for them? No. So another thing, she was part of not getting paid. Their residuals, just like Mace, Day 26, Danity Kane. And remember, Don said that he didn't pay her for a majority of the songs that she wrote, for Dirty Money and for Danity Kane. And he also harassed her about her songs and took them, and used them, and he never paid her. Then she said the FOS became a job. There was no time to do anything else but do them then to try to recover. And they asked her, how many times in your week would it take place? She said the longest were 4 days, significant periods of time. They took a break. They came back at 1:16. after their lunch break, and they went back into the questions. They asked her who was her manager at Bad Boy. She said the manager. And he told her that he was managing me with one hand tied behind his back. He had to check everything with Sean. And then they asked her, how did you make money if your records weren't being released? She said she did hosting parties with Sean approving them. She also did one movie that he approved of with Terrence J. And what comments did Sean make about her appearance? He said that I looked too Mexican with her hair. He wanted her nails white French tip. Now, if you guys remember, every female he dealt with, just like Future got females that's his girlfriends and baby mama with patek watches. Well, Diddy likes white French tip nails. And you could tell that these girls would have these nails, they had to be white. That was what he wanted. That's how it was. Their nails had to be white. Young Miami, all of them that you could tell he dealt with had white short nails. It couldn't be no other nails. And I noticed that with Young Miami because when she started dealing with Diddy a lot more, remember Young Miami used to have long nails, color, pop, things like that. All of a sudden, she started getting white nails, which was just like, what the heck? But yeah. They asked about her hair. She said it varied. I shaved my hair in 2009. Now, I'm going to see if we can find Young Jock. That's confirming to what Young Jock said when he said that she shaved her hair for Diddy around that time. And he asked her about it. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. And she said, well, this is what he likes. And he was like, you don't feel no type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that something that you wanted? She said, whatever Diddy wants, Diddy gets. That's exactly what she said. Let me see if I can find it. And he said he found it to be very weird because I'm finna play it, y'all. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Hold on, y'all. Let me give it a minute. Okay. Here you go.
I always tell this story, nigga. I took my wife to Miami for her birthday, my ex-wife.
Hold on, wait. Let me read my copyright disclaimer because I don't know how valid TV. Get down, honey. They're a little bigger. I don't need them problems, okay? I don't need them problems. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use on this. For use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, personal use tips about the favor of fair use. Okay, all right. Let's go back over here, honey. Let's go back over here. All right, here we go.
I rented this big motherfucking big 80-foot yacht. You know what I'm saying? We on that motherfucker drinking some rock. I hit Puff. I'm like, yo, I'm in Miami. I'm on the yacht. I'm about to come past y'all. Nigga said, pull up, nigga. Me and Cassie, we just laying around. We ain't doing nothing. We chilling. I said, I'm gonna pull up. Nigga, I pulled up, docked to that nigga house, got off, went in there, fucked with the nigga, got on the jet skis, went and kicked him for about 2 hours. When it was time to leave, he's like, nigga, what y'all doing tonight? Bring your wife, let's go out. I like, bet. So me and Puff talking, we kicking it. I never forget this. I pulled back up. Puff like, get in a Jeep with me, nigga. He like, nigga, you need to get you some of these Jeeps right here. And nigga, get you a Jeep like this when you come to Miami, nigga, we can mob like this. I'm like, yeah, this the move. So we ride to the club, bumping Biggie. I'm like, nigga, this high. I'm like, I ain't never really get the opportunity to just be with Puff. Like nigga, me and you, he never overshadowed me, but we never got a chance to just be together. here and there, moments in time. But like how that moment was, I was like, he's like, shit feel right, nigga. We need to be like Mob. And I'm like, yeah, nigga.
Oh,
So I never forget, we pull up to fucking Live, nigga. When we get to Live, nigga, Young Bird, well, Hitmaker. I think it was like
AKA Hitmaker.
Hitmaker. I think it was like Hit Boy or something. It was another producer. I can't remember. These niggas had these whistles. So they throw Puff a whistle. Puff like, you want? I was like, I don't even know what that whistle shit mean. I'm cool. I don't do whistles. And I never forget Hit Rock was there. Hit Rock was like, boy, it's finna be live. Never forget this shit. We go in the club, we kicking it, shit. I'm like, damn, this what's up. The nigga Puff is on the goddamn, he on the shit, the bar where everybody perform at in front of the DJ and shit. And he going crazy. This bitch lit. You remember Scarface when that white woman was coming down the escalator?
Yeah.
And he was in that man's house and he saw that man's wife and was like this. I was watching Puff. The nigga Puff was looking up there. He saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around her. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sitting next to each other. My wife right here, Cassie right here. The nigga jumped out the bar, came on and said, yo, Cassie, tomorrow, I want you to shave the side of your head. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of request is that? Like, so when I'm like, fuck, so when I look up there, this white woman's side of her head was shaved, my nigga. And the bitch looked good with it. So I was looking at Cassie, I was like, well, I was like, you're not about to do that, are you? She said, well, I mean, whatever Sean wants, I'm gonna do. I was like, well, you make sure you send me a picture before you do that shit. So within like 2-3 days, she sent me a picture. I'm like, she done shaved her motherfucking head.
and that she did. And she did a video the next day with Nicki Minaj. And it was her debut in that video. From Nicki Minaj, I believe, first or second album. Yeah. He had her do that. Okay, so with her, then they asked her your body. He told me to work out to prepare for the F-offs. How did you feel about his comments? It varied. What else did Sean pay for? She said he paid for her cars. He gave her cash, but he would take things away depending on how he felt. He took away her self-confidence, the staff, and then defense said objection. Jury was disregarded. The last answer. Who took your laptop and phone? She said security would take her laptop and phone. She said it will be gone however long she was being punished for. So if she didn't do something he wanted her to do, she had no phone, she had no laptop, ain't no telling what else she could not do. Hands and feet on the girl. It was, we haven't got to that point. We're going to get there. Whew. They say, how often were you in contact with Sean's staff? She say daily. She told who was in the photos. She say what she called the assistant. D-Rock, remember D-Rock who's been telling it, is the security. She say she got piercings. He would come with her. That the F-offs would take what happened in Miami and New York, which he has both homes. And then there will be homes. It'll be sometimes at her home. It will be in other cities. Now, this is where the racketeering come in, and a lot of people got confused. And this is where it comes in. So it will be in other cities, which was in Atlanta and Ibiza. So he would get hotels in Atlanta and Ibiza, and that's how it became a trafficking thing, because he would go to now I don't know if that will stick, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, Atlanta has a lot of swinging couples in Atlanta. They do a lot of things, so I'm not sure why they would put that. But I mean, Ibiza, I'm not sure, because most places now, I guess, because of jurisdiction, I guess the code of how long it take for, y'all know what I mean. She went and said what hotels they would have, and for the F-offs, she say Mandarin Oriental Fontainebleau. She say he used the names Jackie Star, that's what she used, and would use Frank Black. Now this is where the details come of what they use at the freak off. Okay. Now she says they asked her what supplies were used. Astroglide, baby oil, and condoms. Who brought the supplies? Sean's security and assistant. What brand of baby oil? Johnson. Remember I shared the photo in the affidavit that there was baby oil from Johnson & Johnson that was laced. And remember I told y'all that they were testing it because there was people saying that it was laced. People that were supposed to be witnesses were saying that it's something in that baby oil. It was Johnson & Johnson. Okay. How was it used? She said that he wanted to keep glistening. So she's saying what not the prosecutor, witness, who was the ex-worker, how he wanted them to glisten and be all oiled up and all of that. That's how he wanted them to be. So then they said objection because she asked, where were the F-offs? Where were their F-offs? I'm sorry, when you ran out of baby oil? They said objection. And she said, you also mentioned Astroglide. Defense said same objection, irrelevant. The judge was like, sidebar, like, she gonna have to change the question, but she can still use it. Okay. And that's how it was used. Then she said it was like a lubricant, and then she said they ran out. They'll call the staff or the bell desk to give them a tip to go pick up some more. And they asked where the F-offs lit. She said initially it was candle, strong smelling glad. Sorry. Any other use of candle wax, she said, on her body. Who set the temperature of the room? She said he did. And she would have these activities on her cycle. He would push her to have these activities on her cycle. Yes. Oh, child. And they asked her, did she not want to do it? She said no. Now, my thing is, y'all in this room, at first, it's already smelling like booty oil and whatever. And now all of a sudden, you got it smelling like her body that's being cleaned out. That nigga just. So, he's very. That's why he was so attached. Oh, Jesus. Then she asked, did you want to be urinated on? Defense objection. Judge asked what grounds? Asked and answered. Judge said overruled, meaning she still can answer that question. And Cassie said, no, I didn't want to. She said, how did it feel? It was disgusting. It was too much. I choked. No one could think I wanted it. She said, why were you choking? She said, too much in my mouth. She said, who else urinated on you? She said, Sean. She said, did you want Sean to urinate on you? She said, I didn't want anyone to urinate on me. How often did it happen? Often enough. Which hotel charged from the most for the damage to the room? The Intercontinental in New York. They redecorated the whole room for ridiculous money. Then it got back to urination. The judge said, Miss Johnson, only a few more questions. Why didn't you say no? She said it was obvious I didn't want to be on the ground being urinated on. Where did you find escorts? On Craigslist. I told y'all a long time ago, that page, Craigslist, all of them And like Twitter now is coming a hub for selling the cat in the ping. I'm telling you, okay. So they said that they went on break. They come back. Okay, everybody's back in session. So they say Ms. Ventura, in what cities did you respond to the ads on Craigslist? She said in New York. And listen to what I'm going to tell y'all. Did you respond to the ads on Backpage? She said yes. I told y'all there's escorts on that Backpage. They asked who directed you to communicate with escorts? They said objection. Who, if anyone, same objection, assumes a fact, not an evidence. Did you ever reach out to the escort independently? She said no. Did you not use an escort who arrived? She said one couldn't perform, so Sean sent him home. What was a safe escort? Not a cop. Not a cop. Remember, he had some of the cops in his payroll. And someone who not run and tell everyone about the experience with us. They asked, why a cop? She said, I learned the whole situation was not legal. Defense said objection. Judge, jury would disregard the last answer. How did Cash get there? Security or he brought it himself? Judge, security or he brought it himself? That's what the judge said was listening to, right? The Victorian judge said, Cassie and Judge. The escort, Dave, do you know his real name? She said Clayton Howard. Who is this? That's Daniel, who we talked about yesterday. She said she used a dance service. She said, did you recognize Jules? She said, yes. In what cities did you have a F-off with Jules? She said, New York, LA, and Vegas. She said she didn't know his last name, but she knew they called him the Punisher. They asked her, were drugs used at every one of them? She said, yes, I needed to disassociate and become emotionless. And they asked her who else used them. And she said, Sean and sometimes the escort. Now, what they used was called Special K, GHB, and mushrooms. That's Molly, mushrooms, whatever else. Then they were saying about the email, parts of the email, when I should take it, when will you be there? Pausing, you were there, what do you mean? She said rugs. And I took mine. This is what he said in the email, I'm flying. What does he mean? She said that he's high. Why did you take more rugs to be present with the experiences? That's why. Because it was something I hated it. How did you react to ecstasy and MDMA? It would make her throw up, and he would tell for her to continue. And did you want to continue to have intercourse when you have to vomit? And she said no. They asked her, how did the GHB make her feel? She said it made her feel tipsy. He gave her cocaine. It makes her heart race. She's not a fan. They gave her mushrooms that said the wall come alive. And she also had, I know one of them drugs was supposed to be Viagra. And they took a break. They came back. And then they asked, when drugs was ran out, how did you know who to reach out to? He would tell her who to reach out to. They asked what would happen if the escort finished. She said he would put it on his body in the next room. Did you do that? She said, I did, usually on his nipples. Did you want to do that? She said, no. She said she felt like she was an object being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime. Were some sessions recorded on your device? She said, yeah, they were. If you saw them, what would you do? I would delete them. She said, why? They would discuss it. I never want anyone to see them. They were on his phone. She would ask him to delete them. She said she wasn't sure. They said that they asked her, did she ever leave an F-off before it was over? She said yes. She had a premiere coming up and she didn't want to be messed up, but he hit her. And at what point did he hit you between sessions? Okay. And then they asked what happened next. She said, I got to the elevator. Now, this is when she's telling the detail of what he did to her. She said she got to the elevator. Next thing she knew, she was thrown to the ground. He grabbed her by her neck and hoodie. They showed her the video. She said she was trying to use a hotel phone, and he was taking her phone in her bag, which we saw in the video. Okay, y'all. This is very disturbing. And my question is, I think now they're probably leading it up to being racketeering. They're probably going to ask more questions today. Remind y'all, we have 8 weeks of this. Remind y'all, we have more victims. We have more witnesses. We're going to have more video. Mm-hmm. The reason why trial was set to May and they were trying to do it earlier, because when they got what they needed with the videos, they had to watch all those videos with escorts and other females and things. It was a lot. I don't know who is on the video. I told y'all I wanted to go to the trial, but baby, you got to be there at 1, 2 in the morning, and that's if they let you in, okay? Because it's a federal court. It's at the federal courthouse. And it's mayhem out in New York at this moment. So they had to have everything set for May, because when I first talked about this in January, I've been on this thing since it first blew up, since the lawsuit. When I first talked about this in January, I knew that they had a lot of videos, because I did a video, I think a live video, and I told y'all the videos was massive. There were massive videos. When I say massive, massive. When a lot of people knew when that video came out from the hotel and we only saw parts of that, I told y'all, get ready, because he's going to get indicted. And it's not going to be LA, and New York was already looking at it as a federal case. So they tried to add people in it because of hearsay, but they didn't have no evidence. I'm not sure how this is going to go, because here's the thing with RICO. You don't need evidence. They can say you did something and it happened. You remember Young Thug? They say Young Thug did something. They didn't really have everything. The case got thrown out. Now, with Diddy things, they have some things. They do have some evidence. I have read to y'all in the article that they collected baby oil from his home. I've told things that happen, right? So they have some things, but it depends if it's going to stick, okay? This case can go either way. Prosecutors and his defense team have strong points on how this is going. But I feel like Johnson ain't no hoe. And Young Thug lawyer ain't no bitch, okay? They not coming to play, baby. Oh, they're playing with the best of them. Now, Nicole, I said that Upper Line, shout out to Upper. Nicole was a victim of SA from, I believe, Birdman and his brother. I'm gonna make sure I get that T right, because I want to specify that right, allegedly, until I get the T, with the information. And it was in Atlanta. She went to law school. She graduated. She's a Georgia lawyer. But the reason why she is on this case, because she has to have, she can practice, go anywhere and do it, as long as she has a lawyer that has a New York license to be a lawyer. She has to be with them the whole time on the trial. That's why she's there. And a lot of these lawyers, when it comes to certain cases, they can go anywhere to, do court cases, as long as they have someone with them in that state. So if I was a lawyer and I go to Florida, yeah, I could go to Florida. I know the law. I can do great. But I would have to have a Florida attorney next to me who's also there. So it's me and him. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why this is happening. Now the reason why what is that man name that tried to get Jay-Z? The reason why he got this barred in New York was because he did not have a New York attorney with him, and he does attorney in Texas. That's why that was clear case. So you see what he doing now with Shannon Sharp. He finally got one. Congratulations. Blackburn, he's been there. He's been on it. He has some victims. I think he has some people he's representing. And oh my God, what is that lady name? She's there with her daughter. She has some people she's representing as well. So, but Blackburn has a gag order. I don't know why everybody I don't know why Blackburn is there, and they gave him a gag to hush. They gave him a nigga shut up. So I don't know. But we're gonna go with day 3. Like I said, I saw a lot of people come in, listen, and left because it was too much. It is going to be. Let me tell you something. This case is going to be so disturbing that y'all just have to hold on to your pearls. So we got some confirmation during this case. Yes, he was dealing with Kim when he was dealing with Cassie. That was true. There's a lot of things we were hearing. People were saying yes. And for his daughters to hear that, I know they was like, Daddy really cheated on mommy. Like, yeah, they're 18, but Daddy really cheated on mom. Like, really? And I know Quincy feels some type of way. So once she was done testifying, everybody went home. They're probably talking about it in the car. Quincy probably do feel some type of way. Now, before I leave, and if you watch the replay, Quincy and Albie's sure relationship have not been the best. Kim Porter left Albie because I think Albie has another child. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but it was with another woman, and they're not in the limelight, whatever. I got to get the backstory on it if I remember how it's told. Albie Shore and Quincy have a relationship, but they don't have a relationship like Diddy and Quincy relationship. You know what I'm saying? Diddy has been on and off in Quincy's life since Quincy was young. So a lot of people like, why he supporting him? That ain't his daddy. But their relationship is different. And that's why I'll be sure say he wished their relationship was better because he realized how much he missed with Quincy. I know. I'm going to say this. I just hope Kim Porter, let me tell y'all something. I hope Kim Porter get justice. But I'm going to tell y'all something. This is why I tell y'all, don't do nothing wrong to nobody. Don't speak ill on the dead. Don't do things that think you're going to get away. Because let me tell you something. When folks cross over to go with the Lord, they become, I told y'all before, when people go to heaven and they go with the Lord, they do have a job on the other side. And I believe Kim is whooping his tail. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 3. Before I leave, I got some tea with Brene and Tim and Devin with their court case, y'all. Brene got to pay $2,000 and she might be in contempt. And we're going to go more in details on that on Saturday. Baby, everybody is going, I don't know what's going on with everybody versus people in court case. Honey, we're going to get into it Saturday. But I will continue to do this for the next 8 weeks. Please get yourself together. If you got to take you a shot because it becomes too much, baby, take a shot. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 3. Day 3, part 2 of Cassie testimony.